Well, I know I have not had a guest on this channel in literally all year long. So congratulations. First and last guest of the year. We have Scotty coming on from his channel Off Script. And you guys let it he's so funny. Like if you like live shows, he doesn't post often, but that's okay. You shouldn't have good things too much. But if you guys don't know much about Scotty, he really covers HBCU football. And as we know, I posted a video a month or two ago really describing how HBCU football works and honestly why it's kind of important, really been blowing up recently. So I think that it would be perfect to have him on for us to just go over a few things that happened this season and over the past and kind of talk about where we're going. So if you're ready for this, make sure you give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down and let's go ahead and get into it. I don't know if you heard about the rumors that happen at the end of every year that Deion's leaving Jackson State. Now he's expected to be going to Colorado and South Florida, I think it was.
Yeah.
Any truth behind those?
Well, listen, I'll tell you one thing. When 247 Sports put something out, you can. I don't want to say you can book it, but you can put it on your radar. Like it might be some truth to that. There's some smoke where there's fire. It still comes down to Deion's. If it doesn't fit what Deion wants to do, he doesn't have to go. It's just that simple. With the thing with his son though, because you don't want to make that jump because wherever he goes, he's taking Shedeur. Now he ain't taking Shiloh, but he's gonna take Shedeur. He's gonna take Shedeur and Travis. With that being said, you don't want to make that jump in Shedeur's junior year, right? Like his junior year going to his senior year. You want to make that jump now because you give him that junior year to kind of get acclimated to the Power Five, and then that senior year, if he dominates, he can go get drafted and things like that. You don't want to make that after his junior year because you only leave him 1 year to get acclimated to the Power Five. He has a bad year. His draft stock goes down the drain. So if he's going to make that move, he needs to make it now. If not, then he's probably going to stay 4 years at Jackson.
I agree with that. I think the only thing that could keep him at Jackson or even make him stay is because we all know Deion is one of the richest people alive. He doesn't need a check. He's fine. I think it's how the AD and everyone are they going to let Deion be Deion, or are they going to try to make him put on the suit and tie and give the vague answers at the Monday afternoon press conferences? Or are they going to let him go out there and be the show he is? And if you're going to try to hold him to something he's not, why would he leave when he can literally do whatever he wants in Jackson?
Listen, you are preaching to the gospel. I'm telling you right now, like, if you can't accept Deion for who he is, you don't want Deion. It's just that simple. If you don't want Deion to show up with chains and a hoodie and Under Armour down and all that, you know what I'm saying, and be cool or whatever, that's what makes Deion Deion. That's why he attracts the people he attracts. That's why kids love to be around him because Deion's the only athlete really that can speak to being a diva because he was a diva before divas was really like a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like he made it cool to be flashy. He made it cool to make it be about you. And he can talk to that kid who thinks he's the shit and be like, bro, I did that. You ain't doing nothing I ain't do. You know what I'm saying? So it's those things about Deion that makes him so gravitated to. Like you just want to be around him. Like when I first met him and I interviewed him, man, he was my idol for so long. I mean, like being Deion was just like I made it. Like I really felt like I made it. I was like, man, I meet Deion Sanders. Like Deion Sanders knows my name. You know what I'm saying? So he just embodies cool, man. I just can't explain. He's just like embodies cool. Like we like if cool was in a dictionary, it'd be Deion Sanders like this. I'm just telling you, he just is him, man. It's him.
I mean, I wish I could be as cool as Deion. And mentioning the swag, and you didn't mention the MEAC, but we're gonna pretend like you did. The Celebration Bowl, the biggest game, arguably, in HBCU football. How do you think it's gonna go? We already know Central's going. School right up the road for me. We don't know about the swag yet, but I'm pretty sure everyone's like putting every single dollar they got into Jackson State.
Well, I'll tell you this. You want the fan view or the analyst view?
We can do both.
Okay. The fan view is I think you're going to get a good game. I think you're going to get a good game. Once again, any team stepping into the field or Jackson State is going to be considered the underdog. So you're going to get that underdog battle you're not going to get like two champions battling. You ain't going to get that. One Bama's going to be an underdog and one Bama's going to be the favorite, and that's Jackson State. But the thing with this, as the analyst, this is probably the best quarterback Jackson State has faced all year.
Yeah.
So with Davis from North Carolina Central, and they're a very well balanced team. They have a quarterback. They can run it. They can stop you. Their D line's a little light, but they have a great defense overall. Good DBs. Pretty decent receivers. So they're a very well-balanced team, and I think they won't be afraid of the challenge. I think South Carolina State beating Jackson State in the Celebration Bowl has given the MEAC some hope, like these guys aren't as bad as they think they are. And we play, and NCCU has played some top-level FCS teams as well. So they played North Carolina A&T, which almost won the division, and they beat them handily. They played University of New Hampshire. They beat them handily. They've had better wins than Jackson State. So I think overall it's definitely going to be a great game. It's definitely going to be sold out on the SWAC side. Anytime Jackson State comes into town, it's going to be sold out. So we'll see how that, all eyes on Deion Sanders and his son Shedeur. So we'll see what it look like.
I agree 100% with that. I think that what happened last year was that Jackson State got comfortable. They forgot that, like, this team isn't just going to be like, oh my gosh, it's Jackson State. Look at their names on the back of their jerseys. We're going to lie down. Like, no, like everyone's going to try to beat you, especially they're going to be 11-0, probably 12-0 by the time they get there. Come on. Like, you got to step up and show up for the game, and that's not what they did last year, and that's why Deion had to roll out on his motorcycle all sad.
He was hot. I know he was hot because Deion don't like to lose, especially in that type of game.
In Atlanta? Oh gosh, no.
In Atlanta? Come on. When you were the overwhelming favorite, like people was, man, I picked South Carolina State to win. That was the crazy thing. Like, out of all the analysts that covered the game, I was the only one that picked them to win. Because I just felt, I was just like, I don't know. I didn't feel like Jack State they weren't playing at their best. I'll tell you that. Like, coming into that game, they had a horrible SWAC championship. Shedeur threw for like 80 yards, and they just looked bad. So when you put bad games on tape, great coaches know how to duplicate that. They like, oh, this is what they can do. This is what they can't do. And it's the same thing going on right now. Jackson State for the last 2 or 3 games has been putting bad tape, putting bad film on themselves. So we'll see what that looks like in the SWAC championship. But these last 2 or 3 games have not been their best, and they have been susceptible for losses, at least the last 2. You know what I'm saying? But when you have great players and great individual situations, they always make up the difference. But overall, they've been playing bad for these last 2 games.
Yeah, I truly think it's they just got comfortable from, like, the amount of times I've seen Shedeur do that drum major step on my TikTok account. I'm like, guys,
that's Shiloh.
My bad. Shiloh. They look the exact same. Literally, the amount of times I've seen that is so annoying. I'm like, it was fun on game day. If I was a drum major, I'd be offended by now.
Like, why don't you show me? Why they gotta? Hey, it's the last name. It's the last name.
It's worth more than mine is, 100%. No tea, no shade there for them. But you mentioned Travis Hunter. I think that Travis Hunter was a big piece of HBCU football because he was in that pandemic, BLM, we love Black people. And then he said, I'm going to Jackson. And everyone was like, oh, wait a minute now. You're not supposed to do that. I know how that looked. And we have numbers to show that he said, but I appreciate that he stuck with his commitment and he went to Jackson because a lot of kids in that situation would have turned the other way. How did you feel during those times?
I thought it was epic. A 5-star #1 player in the country choosing to go to Jackson, Mississippi. And the game that changed his viewpoint was actually the game that I was at. It was Jackson State Soul Bowl game. And it literally was like, listen, if there's a Black person watching this and you've never been to an HBCU game, that means you've never seen 50,000 of all Black people in one stadium on one accord acting a plum fool in the stands. It's something that every Black person in America should see at least once in their lifetime, because you get so caught up in the PWI hype of Ohio State and Alabama and Auburn and Notre Dame and Michigan, but you will never see 80,000 Black people. You will never see 70,000 black people. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Go to a Jackson State and Alcorn game. Go to a Jackson State and a Southern game. Go to anything Jackson State related. You're going to see 50,000 people that all dance to Frankie Beverly and Mace. All right. Come talk to me. You know, it's a literally a big cookout, and it's an experience. Like I thank God for having the opportunity, because I never have been to an HBC game in my life until like a couple years ago, and it's an experience, and it's a humbling experience, because you don't see this on ESPN. You don't see just your people like just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? Watching football. And I think the mainstream media does us a disservice by not putting it on TV to be like, well, it was on BET back in the day and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But just to be like, man, I want to be there. And that's what Deion Sanders in that environment is what made Travis Hunter change his mind. And if you've never been, you could never understand it, because we were like, oh, wow, you know, it's nothing like playing in front of your own people. It's nothing like it. And a lot of black kids at PWIs, they don't understand that, because they just go to these PWIs and they're just like, oh, this, that, and the third. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that HBCUs need to do a better job of taking care of their kids with facilities and resources and things like that. But the one thing you can never replace is going to a game, 30,000 black people. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The atmosphere is what makes HBCU different. And yeah, you know, you can have the LED lights and the smoke and the drones and flying over stuff. But like every time they show those unseasoned meats during the like game preview,
we are not the same. I just want to be very. We are not. We don't put no raisins in potato salad. We are not the same.
those unseasoned meats, just you know, you're just like, okay, we could have maybe cut that one in the edit, but it's all about the atmosphere. And obviously, you know, Travis did a lot by, you know, being the first. I'm not saying he's going to be the John Morant of football by any means, but you know, just showing kids, if he is able to go to the league and have that successful career. Yes, other HBCU football players have had successful careers in the NFL, but in the modern times, as I would like to say it, when you know shoes, bags, talent, name in the media is what people are really looking for nowadays. If he is able to go that trajectory, we're going to see kids run to HBCUs and really start this progression that I think can be seen.
Run, I would say walk briskly. No, I listen, I'm telling you, I give Travis all the credit in the world, because you gave up Florida State, where you know you would have been trainer, people picking up your clothes, people, you know, free. Whatever, the world would have been your oyster. But in HBCU land, it's not the same. You don't have all those high-end amenities. You don't have the players' lounge with 20 massage tables and, you know, you don't have all that. There's a crucible that you have to go through when you go to an HBCU. You have to be pressed, and you'll get like, man, I'm a 5-star athlete. That's how they treat. Like, you're gonna think like that. It's just natural, because they can't do everything that you can get from the Oregons, the Alabamas, Ohio States, the North Carolinas. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. we ain't got no water pool to rehab, and we ain't got none of. They ain't got none of that. You know what I'm saying? So there is a mindset that you have to prepare yourself for, because what happens is a 5-star athlete could feel entitled, and you go to an HBCU and you no longer feel entitled. You don't feel like I put all this work to be a 5-star. I don't feel like I'm getting 5-star treatment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the one thing about Travis that I have to respect, is that he's not a diva to the where he's like, I'm a 5-star and I don't feel like this doesn't fit me. You know, so, but it ain't for everybody. I'm telling you,
it's not.
It ain't for everybody.
There's a reason why Last Chance U football had like 5 seasons. That's all I'm saying.
That's a wrap for part 1 on this interview with Scotty talking about HBCU football. We discussed so much that I had to take it into 2 parts. Come back next week as we discuss more HBCU stuff broadly, as well as HBCU's feature on College Game Day this season because it was very interesting. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I post a new video, which are on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down because it's your thumb. And remember, don't be afraid to join the convo.